welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Mindy Banks, the Flip Flop Chef. Today I want to show you guys how to make my grandmother, Dorothy Thomason's banana bread recipe. This is a recipe that I know some of you guys watching have had before, whether it was from her or from me. Or maybe you've made it because my mom has shared this recipe in her Tea Party cookbook. If you haven't tried it, you're definitely going to want to add it to your list. So I've already prepped all the ingredients. As you guys are joining me, would you please let me know that you're watching? Let me know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions during the video, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you once the recording is over. So like I said, we're gonna make my grandmother's banana bread recipe. And I've already started out with a stick of butter and my KitchenAid mixer. Any mixer that you have will work for this recipe. I wouldn't recommend doing it with just a handheld whisk. You definitely wanna have the power from a mixer. So 1 stick of butter, and this is real butter, not margarine, in my KitchenAid right here. I'm just gonna give this a little quick spin around. All right, let it get nice and fluffy, and then we're gonna add some sugar and some eggs. So I've gone ahead and measured this ahead of time. I'm gonna zoom in so that you guys can see a little bit better what I'm doing here. I have 1 cup of brown sugar. We're gonna add that into the mixer. I have 1 cup of regular sugar. Pour that in. I'm gonna go ahead and let this mix up real quickly. Let those, the sugars and the butter combine. We're gonna add 2 eggs. Go ahead and toss that in. And I'm gonna start out on low and then I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. I'm also gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can use any brand that you like. I'm gonna use Pampered Chef's double strength vanilla extract. And this was a limited time item, so it's not available for purchase right now, but if you have some, it's great in this recipe. I will tell you, my grandmother, she did not add vanilla in her banana bread, but that's something that I've sort of added over the years that I really like. So we're gonna whip this up a little bit more. All right, I'm just gonna use one of our scrapers to scrape down the sides of the mixing bowl. Again, this is just butter, brown sugar, white sugar, and a little bit of vanilla, and a couple of eggs. So I want to get this nice and mixed together. Set this aside here. Give this another little mix. All right, next I'm gonna add in the flour. And I've pre-measured this as well. We have 3 cups of all-purpose flour. All right, mix this together. I'll start off low just so the flour doesn't go everywhere, and then we'll gradually speed it up. I'm gonna scrape down the sides, and then we're gonna add some buttermilk mixed with some baking soda. And that will, making a nice big mess here today. That's going to add a lot more moisture into this recipe. So I use this brand, Cultured Buttermilk here. This is great because it's a powder. If you've never seen this before, it's really great to have on hand because you can have buttermilk for baking anytime that you need it. So I just took 2 tablespoons of this powdered buttermilk and I whisked it together with a 1/2 cup of water. So I use my little mini whipper for this. And I'm gonna add in 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. So we're just going to toss that in, put that all in there. And this will kind of foam up a little bit. Whisk this together. If you guys enjoy my videos, I would love for you to like and share them on Facebook and YouTube. Please be sure to let me know where you're watching, if you're watching the replay or if you're watching live. I'm gonna turn the mixer on low. And I'm gonna just gradually pour in this buttermilk and baking soda mixture. And this will make sure all the dry ingredients are nice and wet. Okay, I'm gonna add a pinch of salt, which I went ahead and pre-measured in a little dish here, just a pinch of salt. I'm also going to add some pea protein. This is an enrichable from the Pampered Chef. It is currently available in this pouch, and it comes with a little scoop. Each scoop has 2.5 grams of protein per scoop. I'm gonna use these sample packets just because they expire sooner than the pouch that I have. And because my kids are gonna be the ones eating most of these muffins, I want to add lots of protein in there. So I'm gonna add 2 packets. So this batch of muffins is gonna have 20 grams of protein in it. So let me toss that right in here. And this is just a cream color, so it's not gonna change the color or the taste. So I don't know if you guys can see in that little packet there, or as I'm pouring, but it's just like a cream color. Toss this in the trash and mix this together real quickly before we add the bananas. For this recipe, you do want to use overripe bananas. So as you can see, we have lots of bananas that did not get eaten as quickly as they should have. Of course, you can peel these, cut them into small pieces or in half and put them in the freezer in Ziploc bags. That's great for smoothies. Today though, I wanted to make banana bread, so I've gone ahead and peeled 4 of these overripe bananas. I have them in the small batter bowl here. I'm gonna take our mix and chop, which you guys are probably familiar with using on your stovetop with ground beef. But it's great for mashing soft fruits, and you can use it to mash avocados, bananas. You can mash potatoes with this thing, and of course you can crumble up all of your ground meats as well. All right, let me wipe these off so we don't waste any, and then we'll transfer this over to the mixer. So we've got 4 overripe bananas. Give this a little mix. Last, I'm gonna add some pecans. Now this recipe calls for just regular plain pecans, but I have some leftover sugared pecans that I made in my air fryer. I'm gonna chop those up using our food chopper. So I'm just gonna fill this little cup with these nuts. And I love this food chopper, by the way, if you haven't seen this. This just unscrews. This opens right up, and this will fit right on the top rack of the dishwasher. So it cleans up really easily, doesn't take up very much space when you're storing it. You know what? I'm gonna do this right on the little cutting mat because it's a little bit more than will comfortably fit in that little disc. So we're just gonna pound. And you can chop these as fine or as coarse as you like them. I want to do this a little bit more fine since my kids are gonna be eating these and they don't really care to have the nuts. These in, and then one more nice mix there. All right, so our banana bread batter is ready to go in the oven. You can bake these in loaf pans, muffin pans, really any pan or shape that you like. The recipe is for loaf pans, and it's set to 325 degrees in the oven. I'm gonna use muffin tins instead, so I'll just spritz these with a little bit of oil and then use our large stainless steel scoop to scoop out perfect size scoops for each muffin that I'm making. These will cook for 15 to 18 minutes in the muffin pan, If you're doing this in a loaf pan, it's gonna take 50 to 60 minutes. So a lot longer time if you're doing a large loaf, shorter time if you're doing the muffins. I like to make them in muffins because they're easy for my kids to grab and get on their own. You don't need any silverware, and it's just easier to store. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments and I'll be happy to answer those after the video. Remember to like and share this, and be sure to join my recipe group at theflipflopchef.com. Have a great day.